What's going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Brandon and we've got a quick motorcycle project to do today. Stick around. So here it is, guys. I'm going to be putting one of these hardline tack and hour meters on my wife's dirt bike. I put one on a brand new XR100r. I'll put a link to that video up above. It'll track your service for like your oil, spark plugs, rings and valves. It requires no power or ground wiring, and it automatically turns on and off with the engine. It works with 2-stroke or 4-stroke, electronic fuel injection, stick coils, or even older ignitions, which is what this has. And you can see it's for any engine up to 2 cylinders, records minutes, hours, displays active RPM. It's non-erasable for overall hours. You can view how many times the engine is started. You can view the maximum RPM. You can adjust the spark input. You can change the spark pulse. It's got different mounts that you can buy. It wasn't a whole lot of money. Basically, you just wrap it around your coil wire. That's what I'm doing for this. If you have like coil on cap type plug wires, then you just wrap it around the top of the cap like that. But for this one, I'm going to be putting this on my wife's 2002. This is an XR100r. I picked this dirt bike up for $400. It had been sitting for years. It had the worst carburetor I had ever seen. The tires were all dry rotted. It wasn't running. The subframe was bent. We had to do some welding. If you want to see the build video, it's pretty long. It's over 2 hours, but it's all episodes combined. I'll put a link up above. I suppose I could mount it up near the neck, but that's where it gets a lot of spray and rain, and I really don't want it there. So this is my idea. So what I'm going to do, guys, is put it like right in this vicinity right here. That way it's kind of like out of the spray and water. It will have the heat kind of like from the motor to like keep it dry, so if it does get wet. I'm going to take this bolt out, cut a little piece of metal, fabricate it, put a couple holes in it, and then I think I might even pull the tank off and check the valve adjustment on it while we're at it, but I'm not sure yet. I like mechanical connections. Just two-side adhesive type tape doesn't really work, in my opinion. Good for this type of stuff. It probably would work for a little while, then eventually the tape and the adhesive would dry out, and then we'd end up having to redo it anyway. So this was a fun project, I'll tell you guys. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I had a lot of fun. It's just always nice taking something that's kind of trashed out and bringing it back to something nice again. So there. And now we'll just make a little tab that we can fasten right to that. Cut it off long and make it just kind of rough. So that way we'll have a rough idea where we want it, because I don't want it hanging down too far. And then I'll just put a nice crisp line on it like that. And then we'll bring it over to the bandsaw and cut it. Kind of like a center line this way, and I kind of like roughen it out, do like a center line this way, and I've determined that that's where I'm going to put the hole. And this is a shoulder bolt, so I'll have to make sure that I drill the shoulder in enough to fit through this right here. Right there. Now we just got to get a drill bit that size. Oh, I think that's too small. That's it right there. Now I'll center punch the hole using my automatic center punch. Now we can transition up to the next size using my mag drill press. There, now I've made some marks, some scribe marks on the outside using a washer, and I'm just going to radius the edge using the grinder. Alright guys, we got a really nice fit with this shoulder bolt fitting through this hole. You can see how nice and tight that is. Then we'll just kind of mock everything up to make sure that everything's going to fit nice and fit the way we want it to. We'll just stick this on there like that. So we'll drill that. I'll take the bracket off and then then we can get this mounted on there. That'll work nice. Now these are what are called transfer punches, guys. Let me show you what they do. You see on the end here how it comes to a point? Well, it's made to, so like for this size, if you had a hole this size and you slid this down through the hole, it automatically centers the center of the hole that you need to drill. I selected the one that is the exact same size for this. Then I will just line up that hole with that rough mark that we made and give it a hit. And we'll put another one here. And there we go. Now we just got to drill it. I read the directions and it said to drill a 7/64 hole in this for the screws. So that's what we're going to do. Now I'm just going to radius these two edges real quick. Yeah, put a little bit of Loctite on it. Yeah, now we just got to put the hour meter on it. Needs no power, guys. That's what I like. It goes up through like that. Then you just kind of like push it back through like that, and then it just stops. It doesn't go all the way through. My heater just started up, but then you just pull it through like that. And that's that. And it even comes with the screws to anchor it to the bracket. To make things a lot simpler, guys, I think what I'm going to do is I'll remove the seat, remove the tank, because they come off real easy. There's only 2 bolts for the seat, 2 bolts for the tank, and then just the fuel line, and I can get everything out of the way. Then I can actually wrap this wire nicely around the coil lead. We can test it out, and then I can also maybe try checking the valve adjustment on it, make sure that's good, and check the timing chain adjustment. Got the bolts out for the seat, so we'll pull that off. It's pretty clean, guys. And getting the tank off is super easy, guys. All you need is just a 10mm wrench or ratchet, and there's a bolt on this side. Then there's another one on this side, then the tank will slide back. Then all you got to do is just pull off this fuel line right here. Make sure the petcock's off and then it works. Pull this fuel line off. I've already pulled back the hose clamp, and gas tank comes right off with the shrouds on it, which makes it nice. So I brought the motor up to top dead center, and that'll give you the cam bolts that are parallel with the top of the head. Then you'll have a little dot on the cam gear. That'll be straight up and down, and the rocker arms should have no tension on either of them. Then those get set for this year. Again, this is a 2002. These get set for 2/1000 of an inch clearance. A 2000 is like paper thin. So what you want to do is you're sliding it in just like that. It should have a little bit of drag, but not a lot. And you can see I'm in just like that. You can see how it's sitting down in between the rocker arm and the top of the valve stem. And if I try to slide a 3/1000 feeler gauge down in there, it will not go. Same thing over here, guys. You can see how it's fitting down through there. But if I try to put a 3/1000 feeler gauge, it will not fit down through there. So these valves are adjusted properly. So now I can put the valve cover back on and torque it down to spec, and then we can start the bike up and make sure that our meter works, that our hour meter works. The reason I did this right now is because if these needed to be adjusted, these have to be adjusted cold. So if I just started it up to see if the meter worked, then the motor's warm, and then I wouldn't have an accurate measurement for my valve adjustment. So these are good. We're all set here. I can put it back together. Looks like the torque specs are 7 foot-pounds for these, but 7 foot-pounds is not a lot, like hardly any. So click, click, there, that's good. So you don't want to go a lot. You don't want to break them off. Just enough that it seals it, and that's it. Now I'm going to shorten the wire a little bit because I just don't want to have a ton of extra slack that I don't need. I'll coil it around like it showed in the directions. That's what we've got right there. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the gas tank back on it, and we'll get it started up so we can get fuel to it and make sure that the hour meter works just right. I got it all back together. It only took just a minute to do, and I got the fuel on, fuel lines all hooked up. I don't remember which way is choke on this thing, if choke is up or if it's down. I don't remember. I think choke, I don't know. I don't remember. I'll try to figure it out. This will probably start pretty hard. This hasn't been started in probably a couple months. It's been sitting all winter. Who knows? We'll see. This usually starts first kick, so it shouldn't be too difficult. I'm going to go down with it. I think down might be choke. Oh, let's take out the plug out of her tail end. We don't want that. Alright, you hear that tick, guys? That's that ticking I'm talking about. So that must be the cam chain, because it's definitely not the valve. This one right here is the big adjustment for the timing chain. And this one's the fine adjustment for the timing chain. This one you do while it's running. So you back off this retainer. Listen to that, guys. Huh? Went right away. Here we can see that our tach is working, so that's RPM. Then if we hit it again, that's hours. Definitely working. Yeah, good. So we'll let this run for a minute and let this warm up, and I might have to do a bigger adjustment on this. That's what I'm thinking. I ended up taking up the main one just a little bit, and I backed off this nut. It's 12 millimeter, and then I just turn this center screw right here just a little bit. It was up and down vertical. I turned it just a little bit until I couldn't really turn it anymore, and then I cinched it down. Then I started it up, and then I loosened this locking bolt. So now it's got like a little dot embossed in the top, and that's about at 1 o'clock. And thing sounds great, runs great. There's no ticking sounds. It sounds perfect, and the throttle response is awesome. So, and it's all warmed up. I don't see any problems with this at all. Considering how bad this carburetor was, guys, I'm amazed this thing even runs. You know, very crisp. So, yeah, it runs good. The manual says for it to idle at 1400 plus or minus 100. So we are at, so I'll have to bump her down just a whisker. Let her settle out. I didn't adjust the idle since I adjusted the timing chain, since I snugged it up. So we'll turn the idle down just a whisker. That sounded close right there. Let the idle settle down, we'll check it. 1470, 1490. So, like I said, it can be plus or minus 100, so not a big deal. That runs good there, just leave it. Hours. Look at that. So 4/10 of an hour. That'll make keeping track of maintenance on this good too. Other than that, this thing is ready to rip. And that's all there is to it, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to check out my other videos on this channel, including the playlist for this rebuild series. I upload videos regularly, so please like, comment, subscribe. Take care, guys. Until the next one. See ya.